Dools.
Has.
Jamie Foxx prepares for the Mike Tyson biopic. Michael Keaton comes back as Batman, and Last of Us Part 2 pulls in huge sales numbers. All that and more, but Dools, just roll the intro! Welcome, one and all, to another episode of the More Cops on Duty podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Harry. With me, of course, is the Mike to my Tyson, the Batman to my Michael Keaton, Edward Dools Dooley. Dools, how you doing this fabled night?
Look, I'm doing okay. I'm hanging in there. I'm still recovering, as I'm sure you are, from a certain video game experience we've both had. 30-something hours of just... So this comparison's been made, and I don't know if it's apt, but I don't know if it's incorrect either. But so Schindler's List, the film, is not designed to be a comfortable viewing experience. It's designed to be the exact opposite. And it's about it's close to 3 hours long. So that it's 3 hours of discomfort. We just experienced 25 plus hours of Schindler's List.
It's nuts. You're, of course, referencing The Last of Us Part 2.
So this is a joke. I'm not actually comparing the Holocaust to this game, although I'm comparing a movie to this game.
Yeah, you're comparing the uncomfortable feeling watching or experiencing a medium. You're not the actual
the nature of experience. Both mediums are similar in this case. And man, it's... Oh, my God. So we may as well just say up front, we're going to do a spoiler cast on Last of Us Part 2 on this week's More Cups in Review episode. Debut Friday.
So Friday's drop.
We both loved it. We're gonna, have debates, discussions, that kind of thing, and really unpack the game and everything that happens. And I can't wait for that. But other than that, I'm doing okay. How are you,
mate? I'm pretty well. Hanging in there. Same old. Another day, another dollar. It's really... Until cinemas open up again, which is for us July 2nd, but our favourite cinema chain opens up July 9th. There isn't really that much to report.
Is that true? It's July... Yeah, I guess that makes sense, seeing as the... Yep.
Yeah, because I think Hoyt's opened the week before. But then we get it the...
So 9 days has.
Yeah.
Wow.
Do you reckon we go to see a few Hoyt's things, Dawes?
Yeah, I reckon so. I mean, we don't have our first book ones until the 9th, I think. I mean, I'm pretty keen to see something straight away.
Yeah, honestly, what else are we going to do? But I tell you what, Dawes, Swans are winning. The Swans are back on the winning board. Did you watch the game?
I did watch the game. We didn't have the best... I mean, I'm considering this the reboot of the season, so we didn't have the best start of the post-COVID season. Well, we're not post-COVID, but you know what I mean. Who do we play?
Essendon.
Essendon. Yeah. I mean, look, it wasn't a terrible showing, but I mean, neither team played...
sloppy.
It wasn't great. Neither team played particularly well. We were much better this time round. I'm not going to lie and say that the Brews were phenomenal. I mean, we definitely benefited from their own sloppiness. But Heaney, Parker... that classic roster. I mean, they all delivered. And Parker and Papley, of course. Yeah. Sorry, how could I forget? Even though he nearly forgot about us.
He almost did, but you know what? He's true to his word. Speaking.
Well, he wanted a job.
Yeah, he wanted that cash.
He didn't want to be joining that Centrelink line. That's for sure.
Speaking of true to your word, Dools, let's say that an average Joe stumbles upon our podcast on Spotify and wonders, what is the More Cops on Duty podcast?
In light of The Last of Us 2's groundbreaking, step towards representation, equality, and just outright diversity, I got to wonder, each and every week you asking about the average Joe. What about the average Jane? Hey?
What about Joanne? Joe can be short for Joanne.
But but I know how you say your Joes. You normally, if you're referring to that kind of Joe, you go Joe. But if you're saying Joe with the E on the end, I can tell. So you're not going to crawl your way out of this one. We all know you're a misogynist. I understand you're working on it, and that's great. But I mean, when you're on the air, mate, you really got to put your head in. Well, where the average Jane can find our podcast because I'm inclusive, is on all your relative podcast services, be it Spotify, Apple Podcasts.
What is the More Cops on Duty podcast?
And it's whatever the fuck this is.
Just
man.
answer
Whatever we
the
want it to
question.
be, man. Hey, man. We talk films, movie, games, whatever strikes our fancy that week. We'll go through the news of the week. We'll break it down, give you our opinions, and then we'll have some shenanigans towards the tail end of the podcast. Each and every Tuesday we record, Wednesday we post, and Friday you'll find an episode. What else is there to say? I've covered all the bases.
No, you nailed it, Dools. You nailed it. Also to mention that we run internet's #1 film review and news website, morecopsonduty.com, and The Real Deal. So please go check it out. But
we got to get our reviews and headlines back in action.
Running, of course. Dools, we always like to start each and every show with what we've been watching, what we've been playing. Do you want to start us off?
Well, I think it's obvious. Last of Us Part 2 has dominated a lot of my time. I watched half of, and still need to finish it. I might actually start it over. But Boogie Nights, which I've surprisingly never seen, at least not in full. So I watched like the other half the other night, and I was like mesmerized by this movie, dude. I was like, holy fuck! Like, this is everything about this movie is like, I mean, just like the mid-70s, like, cool nature of it all, and like, the characters, Burt Reynolds, man, Don Cheadle. I mean, it's got an incredible cast. Had no idea it was a Paul Thomas Anderson movie. Definitely wouldn't have guessed that.
PTA. Yeah.
Would not have guessed that, which is very cool. One of his firsts. So, yeah, I'm definitely going to finish that at some stage this week. Maybe bring it up next week. And I mean, The Last of Us has really just dominated my time for the past few days. How about yourself?
Yeah, same. There isn't going to be much to report on this front. Last of Us Part 2, it's sorry, it's about a 30-hour journey. So, like, of course, it's going to dominate our entire weekend. We got it on Friday, so we've been pretty much hermits since. But you finished it the night before last. I finished it at like 1 a.m. last night. Went to bed.
So I put it away in 3 sittings.
That's insane. That is insane.
And it was just shy of 30 hours. So, yep. What do you remember what your final count was on hours?
Mine was like 26 or something.
Like okay,
26 point something.
Okay, yeah, I think you were just 2 hours or so quicker than mine. Yep.
Yeah, but I'll hear our final thoughts on Friday. We'll go fully into it, but a non-spoiler review. I think it's pretty evident that we both think it's pretty excellent. I think this takes a very big story, a very big step in terms of video game story, and I think this is an absolute representation to when people argue that video games aren't art. Yeah,
if people are still making that argument, then they've kind of siloed their mind in in the 1980s into still thinking that video games haven't progressed past like Pac-Man or Space Invaders. It's like, well, man, I don't really know what you're talking about. But if the first one is very synonymous and even transcended the video game medium, like a lot of people really know about The Last of Us. Like, as it seemed like, I remember when that news broke of, they were going to finally adapt it for TV on HBO. Like, a lot of people, like, it was trending big time. And, like, I saw a lot of, like, people in different verticals, completely unrelated to games, talking about it. And I was like, wow, I had no idea the brand resonance that property had. And so I think Part 2 is going to strike a similar chord. And look, if you've played the first, so apparently it's one of their best-selling exclusives. It's sold like 17 million across PS3 and PS4. Part 2 might outdo it. Who knows? Apparently it's already the fastest-selling PS4 game this year. Insane.
I've got that as a news point. But,
we'll go into. Have you got more stats on that? Because I know there's a lot more stats on that. But
I can get more stats on it.
But so, on in the chance you played the first, you absolutely owe it to yourself to play part 2. I mean, I would consider it like it would be the equivalent of watching Godfather Part 1, looking at Part 2, knowing that it's won all the awards that it's won, knowing that it's, you know, arguably stands shoulder to shoulder with the first, if not better, and just being like, meh, I'll pass. That's all right. I don't need to watch it. It's literally the equivalent in my mind. Yes, I'm comparing another movie to a game. What the fuck are you going to do about it? So, Haz, do you agree with that assertion?
Yep. No, I agree. You owe it to yourself.
And we know people, so I think we might even go into this on the spoiler cast. But so basically, a bunch of leaks spread. I think mid-Jan, maybe March or something, or Feb or March.
That was around.
It was around. All the past few months have blurred together. But actually, probably wasn't that long ago either. Definitely wasn't as far ago as January. But so
I'm pretty sure it was April.
And a lot of people, so I think like certain story points, certain plot elements were leaked online in dot point form, as well as a bunch of cutscenes. I think maybe like, apparently I heard up to 90 minutes of cutscenes leaked online. And
with no context.
With a lot of it being taken out of context and just being turned into memes instantly because of, you know, certain characters and certain narrative choices, things of that nature. And so many people just reacted negatively to it. Look, a big chunk was like anti-LGBTQ kind of representation in the game, which, you know, is stupid. But a lot of it was legitimately like, oh, I don't know about this storyline at all and how they treat certain characters, which is fair, except for the fact that there's no context. So I'm telling you,
it makes perfect sense.
telling you, I looked up the leaks after I beat the game. And I read this like little dot point sheet or whatever that people were circulating. And look, if I read that and without the context, I'd be like, "Are you kidding? Are you kidding? They've ruined The Last of Us. They've ruined it." But I played the game first, and I know everything that happens, everything. And context does not, like, dude, this is a 30-hour game. You think you're gonna extrapolate every single detail from this fucking list of dot points? The context is everything. So, you know, if you are on the fence because of the leaks, trust me, it's 110% worth it, even if you think you know the story back to front, like, because you don't.
Yeah, I agree with you, every word. This is the boldest game I've ever played. This game's affected me emotionally as much. Like, this is the biggest emotional effect that I've ever experienced to any type of medium.
Wow.
Ever. Like, movies, music, this game has, like...
But I think that's the potential of games, man, because you spend so long with these characters and you're literally put in their shoes. You're controlling them. You have some agency, even though the story... You don't influence the story at all. I mean, you're going on a ride. But you don't have that kind of... It's impossible to have that kind of agency in a film or television show. So there is something about... games really do have the most potential for pushing storytelling to different levels, and that's what Naughty Dog do and continue to do.
It's true. All that and more this Friday's podcast, Dools. You hear our in-depth discussion. We'll do about 10 minutes non-spoiler, and then we'll just go right into it.
Yep.
But until then, Dools. Let's get into the news of the week. Give me a jingle.
News of the week.
Nice. Dools, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 items to yourself as something good, something bad.
Surprise me, Haz.
I actually don't think I've got any bad stuff, Dools. The new trailer for The Kingsman dropped today. Did you get a chance to check it out?
I would consider that bad.
Really?
No, I'm kidding. I actually did see. I saw it kept popping up on YouTube. They clearly wanted me to watch it. I chose not to. I didn't like Golden Circle. So I'm really not interested in this at all. I mean, well, did you watch the trailer?
I did. The trailer looks great. I'm with you. I loved the first one. I thought the first one was such a fresh little idea for a new take on like the spy action movies, you know. But I agree with you. I thought the second one was very lazy and was very tropey and was plain just boring at the end of the day. Yep. But that's only one misstep, so I'm willing to give them a second chance. And they've already proven themselves to me with the first film, so I'm excited for this film. It looks great. The Ralph Fiennes looks brilliant as part of the original Kingsman. But it looks like a lot of fun. Looks like a fun action movie. Looks awesome. You should check out the trailer. I think it'll change your mind.
Yeah, but it sounds like you're already setting your bar real low. Like, just looks like a fun action movie. It's like the first one, had that kind of facade about it, where on its surface it just looked like another dumb action movie. But then when you watched it, you realize it had all this substance there, and that's why it was so special. Like, it was just such a clever take on the spy genre, as you said. And then, Golden Circle kind of, bit of, dipped a little bit. And so, I don't know, if we want to return to form, we should really set our expectations a little higher. But,
of course.
I don't know. This is bizarre, though. I don't know why they just don't go straight to Kingsman 3. It's like, what, they're that eager to establish a fucking universe by doing a prequel set in World War One. I mean, it's set so far back in time, I don't know how they're going to be able to tie it in any way to the current movies. Besides the fact that it's like, oh, look, it's an origin story. It's like, okay.
yeah, you're right.
I don't know,
we'll find out, though.
Yeah, well, I guess we will. Guess we will.
We will find out. Dools, Mike Tyson biopic is nearing production. Jamie Foxx posted a couple of photos on Instagram. He's looking jacked. Nice. Are you excited for this? Because we got reports of this about 5 years ago now, that it was in terms of script was in production and stuff, and that Martin Scorsese was tied to it. Yeah. But now recent reports, it's like I don't think he's tied to it, because his next film is Killing of the Flower Moon. That's a De Niro and DiCaprio film, which is gonna be great. Look at that cast.
Can't wait for that.
So I'm not sure if he's going to be tied to it.
I think I recall seeing something not too long ago that he shifted from being attached to direct to executive produce, and then I think then not just being a part of it at all. But I mean, I'm not 100%, which is a shame. I mean, Scorsese's already proven he can direct the hell out of a boxing biopic, so I mean, he would have been a great choice. But dude, get fucking I mean, do we already know who's attached to direct, or
no one yet?
Okay, so they need
it might be someone who just hasn't.
Dude, I mean, announced. Get Ryan Coogler or whoever did.
That was my first
Creed
thought.
2, or even Creed 2. I mean, the dude did Creed 2 is also just as worthy, if not more so.
I'll look up the.
Considering I almost think Creed 2 might be a better film. So yeah, wasn't it a
Creed
rapper
2
or
was
someone?
Stephen Cable Jr.
Yeah, well, dude, fucking give him a buzz. Yeah, I'm keen as hell for this. Jamie Foxx, phenomenal actor. I just need, but I mean, his performance can only do so much. I mean, as long as the boxing, the actual boxing scenes are well choreographed and all that stuff, I'm sure we have a blockbuster to look forward to. But good script and director will also go a long way, so we'll see.
Yeah, I love a good biopic. I love the idea of Mike Tyson. I've been getting a lot into boxing lately in the last couple of years.
He's making a comeback in real life as well, like big time.
Yeah.
I keep seeing clips every once in a while. The dude still moves with ferocious speed. It's like scary.
Yeah, isn't there?
He's in his early 50s.
To fight someone.
Well, there was the rumor that before COVID happened that he was going to come down here. He was offered $1 million to come fight, like, I don't know, random names floated around like Paul Gallen or Barry Hall or someone. Maybe even fucking Mundane. Wouldn't that be hilarious? I don't know, some Australian organisation offered $1 million, or, I mean, I don't know if that's even 100% accurate, but he's definitely eyeing a return to the ring. So I will 100% be there to watch that.
Yeah, for sure. John Jones offers to box Mike Tyson as long as he promises to give me a real fight. Lol. No, not happening. But yeah, no, I'm getting massively into boxing, but Mike Tyson, I actually don't know his backstory that well. So I'm really curious to see what it is, and I feel like this film is definitely going to show it.
I hope it doesn't shy away from the real stuff as well, because I know he does have a little bit of a sketchy background with some domestic abuse stuff, but as long as it doesn't sugarcoat things, that's all I want.
Yeah, for sure. Dools, here's some good news for you. Next, in a matter of weeks, we're going to be graced with Ghost of Tsushima because, Dools, it's just gone gold. There is no more delays. It is definitely coming out. I'm personally really excited for this. I've got no idea how it can top Last of Us Part 2, with it being the last exclusive before next gen. I agree with you. I think that Last of Us Part 2 should have been the swan song of the PS4. But still, Sucker Punch coming out with a new game. The creators of Infamous and Sly Cooper. Infamous has always been one of my favourite series of all time. So I'm really keen to see what they do there. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I agree completely. These guys, I love Infamous, so I think they've already proven that they can do open world and just third person action really well. So I have no reason to, doubt them now. Even though it's like a radically different kind of like setting and gameplay style, like you're a samurai kind of thing. So, but I mean, the setting is actually I don't think we've really seen. I mean, so recently, like this time last year, we got a game called Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice, but that's like a Soulsborne type feudal Japan set game, but also has a lot of supernatural elements. This looks like to be quite grounded, and they say they want it to be quite grounded, like so much so that like apparently the game won't even have a HUD or a map. Like you've got to rely on environmental cues and landmarks to know where you're going. I love that. That's really cool. So
yeah, it seems super immersive.
I think I think we've got something special on our hands. So it's just hard to think about. I don't even know if I'll be able to play another game until then, because The Last of Us was that impactful. It's just ruined games for me for a while.
Yeah,
so, but I think that would be a good break, because that will kind of be a return to fun, somewhat arcadey kind of gameplay. So yeah, okay,
looks great, Dools. Looks great. Next up, Dools. Here's another piece of good news. There's a new rumor out, Dools, that Rocksteady's next project is a Suicide Squad game, and it's titled Suicide Squad: Kill the Justice League. Now, we've been there's a lot of rumors about what's going on with Rocksteady over there. There's a new Batman game, there's a new Justice League game, there's a new Superman game. Suicide Squad, I honestly think, never came to my mind. What do you reckon about these rumors?
I think it was actually rumored a long time ago, but it was at the same time when people were like, oh, well, it could also be Justice League. So, I mean, I think they were just throwing names out. But I think this is borderline confirmed, because they're apparently going to show off. They've got some DC event, which is going to be games, movies, shows, comics, and other crap, called DC
Fandom or something?
Yeah, Fandom, yeah. And they're also going to show like Justice League, Snyder Cut Justice League footage, things like that there. So the rumor is that these two games will be shown. So Suicide Squad, Rocksteady Suicide Squad, and WB Montreal's Batman game, which actually has also they've also registered a website name for Gotham Knights. So that could be Batman Arkham Gotham Knights or something like that. First of all, that's actually a pretty cool title. I don't know, would you? I think it's a pretty cool title.
I'd buy it. Or it might just be Batman Gotham Knights.
I mean, but I hope it's not. I hope it's literally what it is, though. Which is that we get to play as the Suicide Squad and we fight the Justice League. I mean, just the idea of playing as whoever and taking on Batman and shit. I mean, dude. And Rocksteady, man. I mean, the Arkham trilogy is like, that really, really set the standard for superhero games. And Spider-Man was as good as it was because of Arkham, because Arkham set the bar so high. So
especially with combat.
So I'm really it paved the way. It was a trendsetter for its combat. I mean, so many games copied its combat system. So I mean, I can't wait to see what these guys have. I mean, they've been working on this for a while. Arkham Knight came out in 5 years ago. So and you got to imagine this game is still maybe a year or so away. So it'll have been 6 or maybe 7 years by the time it finally comes out. I'm stoked. That sounds awesome. I'm pretty sure that's real as well, by the way, because when that news first broke, all the big outlets reported on it as well, almost as if like, oh, okay, we can start talking about it now because it's been leaked.
Right.
Because I bet they've all known about it for a while. So
yeah, I'm sure.
I'm Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah. Well, I'm keen to see what they do. It's very, very curious. You know, like it's
I think a
interesting to
Justice League
see.
game would be hard, man, and I think like people would have such high expectations for that. Whereas like Suicide Squad, it's like, oh, okay, that's interesting, like because no one would have really picked that, and so it's like, well, you can pick from this random cast of characters. Because Suicide Squad, from what I understand, can just be a mishmash of random DC villains. I think you've got to have some mainstays like Harley Quinn, but that's about it. And then they can pretty much do whatever they want, and there's no real like expectation other than we expect the gameplay to be good. But
Yeah.
I feel like if you're trying to make a game where you can play as Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, blah blah blah, oh my god, people would have ridiculously high expectations. So I think, yeah, fuck doing a Justice League game, at least for now.
Yeah, I agree, Dools. I agree. But yeah, I'm curious, and I guess we'll find out in August. It's not too far away. It's only a few months. But Dools, let's keep it DC related. Michael Keaton is rumored to be in talks of coming back as Batman in the new Flash movie. Do you reckon this gives evidence to the rumor that they're taking the story standpoint of Flashpoint, of bringing back an old Batman?
Yeah, I think they've talked about that, but they never confirmed it. I think it's like
Yeah, they've never confirmed
it's just a big open secret at this point that they want to base it on Flashpoint. But yeah, I think in that same article I read that, again, rumors, but they want to use his character, his Bruce Wayne, as a Nick Fury type who'll kind of hang around and provide guidance to heroes and things like that. So I think like they also want to include him in what's the other one? It's another
Aquaman,
DC movie.
Shazam.
So anyway, but I mean, it might not be. He might become a mainstay, and people are already floating the idea of a Batman Beyond movie finally, which I think would be the perfect way to bring him back as Bruce Wayne, like in a proper Batman movie. And I think you could totally have Pat's Batman on at the same time as Batman Beyond. I think people aren't dumb. They understand. There's so many Spider-Mans these days. I think like you could easily kind of differentiate the two, and Batman Beyond has a very distinct aesthetic as well. And
there's so many
plus
Jokers,
and it's a different Batman. So, yeah, I think that would be an awesome idea. But I mean, whatever else they plan to do with him, yeah, sounds cool.
I think it's an exciting time because like Michael Keaton, there was a good period where he just didn't do anything, and then he came back when Birdman really re-envisioned him. There we go, that's the word.
Reinvigorated.
Yeah, like lit the flame again.
Where did Michael Keaton go? Do you know?
Oh man, to the stars, Dools. Have you seen the memes going around where it's like, Batman?
He well, I think Birdman and Spotlight came out at similar times. So I mean, he didn't just have a renaissance; he had a fucking revolution. Those two films were like, I think they both won Oscars. So it was like, fucking hell, all right, he's back in business.
Yeah, they both got Best Picture.
Yeah, so he's been he every film I've seen him in recently, he's been excellent. And I mean, yeah, he's just and he can star in anything, bro. He can star in an Oscar winner, and then he can just go be the Vulture in Spider-Man. I mean, it's awesome. And then
and he was great as the Vulture in Spider-Man.
So bring him back as Batman. I feel like then that also shows us that DC, and they were doing this with their shows, but it seems like they're just playing fast and loose with continuity and canon and things like that, and just not really giving a fuck. Just being like, oh, why can't we just bring Michael Keaton back? And this kind of tells me, well, fuck, I mean, if they could convince him to, maybe there's a world in which Christian Bale's Batman comes back. I don't think that's so crazy anymore. And I bet they would fuck. I bet if they, this kind of paves that way for it. And I bet if they got him back, like, fuck, dude. I mean, I'm sure they'd love to.
That's true. Yeah, that'd be the dream. He was awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, like in time. I hope it's real because I love Michael Keaton. I'm a Michael Keaton fan, but we'll see. Dools, second last point on the news block. Crash Bandicoot 4 trailer dropped. What did you think?
Dude, I loved it. I'm no
Looks
Crash.
wacky. I'm all in.
I'm no Crash evangelist, although I did play the Insane trilogy when it first came out, and that was
Same.
my first time I ever played a Crash game. Never played them as a kid or anything, but and I thought they aged pretty well. They played quite well. So I think apparently it just sold a bonkers amount. Like, people really underestimated how popular the Crash franchise still was, and so the remastered trilogy was a test bed for, we'll see how it goes. Maybe we can do more of these. And apparently within like a couple months of Insane Trilogy coming out, they were like, okay, we're making a brand new one, because it was just selling that well. And it still hits charts. Good. Still hits charts from time to time. So, it's no surprise. I think it looks great.
Super simple. What's it called? Do you remember the
Oh, it has a great title. It's Crash Bandicoot 4, It's About Time.
That's it. Yeah.
And they have a little I didn't really get it because I didn't really play the games as a kid, but so after the Crash PS1 era, there's a few like kind of like black ugly duckling PS2 games, which I don't think Naughty Dog did. I think another developer did. They were on PS2.
Traveller Tales did it.
And they kind of like make a joke about that. He's like, I think someone says to Crash at the end, like, I thought you only beat this guy 3 times, and then pointing at Dr. Cortex or whatever. And he's like, no. And so apparently, I think that's just their way of like completely ignoring those other games and just be like, okay, this is canon. This is the 4th game now, even though there were like a fair few more. But so yeah, I think all I was seeing was that tons of Crash fans were like, yeah, fuck yeah. They're stoked, so it must be good.
Yeah, it looks great as well. It looks so seamless and just looks like a lot of fun. But Dools, last point on the news block. Last of Us Part 2 is officially Sony's fastest selling game, boxed PS4. This is in the UK numbers. It's sold 76% higher than the original Last of Us Part 1. Which is huge considering how big that game is. So really, I'll let you have your opinion, Dools. I'm sure you agree with me. That just shows, these leaks did nothing to the sales numbers of this fucking game. Even, it might have even put a flame under it. So all these people asking for boycotts, good work. You definitely didn't succeed. You might have even sold more, because that's what controversy does. It brings eyes and it brings want to see what it actually is. But I'm so happy that it's selling through the roof. The team at Naughty Dog, they really deserve this game to be bought by so many people, and they deserve a lot of critical accolades, which I'm sure they'll get. This is going to be Game of the Year. Let's be honest. It's going to be this or Cyberpunk.
I think the only real contender, and obviously, maybe it could turn out to be shit. Who knows? I doubt it. The only real contender I feel like could be Cyberpunk, and I mean, fuck, at this stage, it might even be delayed till next year. So, yeah. I think it is easily Game of the Year right now. It also just happens to be one of those slightly weaker years. We're in the last year of this gen, so but yeah, I think it's just it's something else. So I think the leaks. Yeah, I remember. I think Jim Ryan, PlayStation CEO, pretty much came out and said not too long after the PS5 reveal, he was like he was asked about the leaks and if he was concerned about if it might impact sales. And I think it really is just this echo chamber on social media, the way these leaks existed, and people who are really entrenched in game culture might see them and worry about them. But that's such a small sliver of consumers. So I would even bet that even a good chunk of the people online saying they're not going to buy it, they're full of shit. Like they would have then seen all the 10s that it got and be like, oh, okay, well maybe I've got to see what it's all about. So but Jim Ryan was saying like. Pre-orders are actually, doing really well. We don't think they've been impacted by the leaks at all. They're exceeding our expectations. So I think that was just a big middle finger to the Lakers.
So good. Yeah. Fuck those guys, dude. Like, to actually ruin the work of, like, the 7 years of work from the team over at Naughty Dog. That's a really, really cruel and atrocious thing for someone to do. So I'm glad that people are going out to buy this game, and if you haven't yet, please go out, buy it. You'll love it. It's really, like, it's hard to love this game, but it's like, it's an experience that you need to have, and like, it's unlike anything I've ever played before.
Yep.
Would you agree?
100%.
Nice.
100.
Nice. Dools, you know what that is? That's the end of our news week.
Oh my.
So, let's transition over to our weekly Trivia Tuesday that's released on a Wednesday. And speaking of Last of Us, Dools. Last of Us. You're set into an apocalyptic world, Dools. We've been wanting this game for years. We've been looking forward to it. It got revealed in 2016, I believe, at PSX at the end, with Ellie singing the song on the guitar. And Joel comes in, he's like, kiddo, you really going to go through this? And she comes up, Dools, and says,
I'm going to kill every last one of them.
I'm going to find and I'm going to kill every last one of them. So, Dools, in the spirit of that, how about we get into some trivia of films surrounding the apocalypse?
Ooh, I like it. Give me a trivia jingle,
Dools,
Has.
Trivia jingle. Is that good?
It's actually atrocious, but look, let's just move past it.
Yeah. Dools, you got 10 questions here. Question number 1. I have a feeling that these are way too easy for you. I'm just putting it out there. Way too easy.
We'll see. We'll see.
Question number 1. In the Book of Eli, what language was the book written in?
Braille.
Correct. See? It's too easy. It's too easy. What a good movie Book of Eli.
Oh, I had to think about that for a second because, I mean, yeah, Braille is a language, but I was like, oh, wait a second. Is that yeah. So, yep.
Yeah, nice.
Yep.
Question number 2, Dools. By the way, did you like Book of Eli?
Yeah, loved it. Yeah, great movie.
Yeah, it's awesome. Denzel Washington, hell of a film. Question number 2, Dools. In Mad Max Fury Road, who plays Warboy Nux?
Okay. I can't even. Nicholas Holt?
Is that your final answer, Dools?
Oh fuck, man. I mean, is this?
I'm gonna ask that for every question if it's right or wrong. By the way.
Okay. Well, there's no way you expect me to know the main name of the proper villain dude with the long hair because that's so obscure. Yeah, I'm just gonna go with Nicholas Holt. Yeah.
That is correct. You're thinking of War Daddy, by the way.
Yeah, because War Boy, I was like, okay, well, it can't be the dude.
Yeah, that's the army. They do all the spray paint in the mouth and stuff. Number 3, Dools. In Snowpiercer.
Oh.
What were the gelatin energy bars that they ate made out of?
Oh. Crushed insects?
I'll take that. I had bugs, so I would have taken anything like cockroaches or anything like that. Crushed insects, put a point on the board. Dools, question number 4. Is Bird Box a good movie?
I'm going to have to give you a resounding fuck no.
Dools, that is a resounding correct right there. That is correct.
Yeah, what a shame. What a shame that film is.
It's literally the same. It's the same fucking movie. Number 5. True or false? A Quiet Place has 95% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Whoo. I swear to God, if it's like false Dools has 96. I'm going to say true has that because that sounds like, yeah. I'm going to say true.
It is true, Dools. It is true. I was so close for doing exactly what you said. I was so close, but I was just like, I'm not going to be like that. Number 6. What is the name of the dog in I Am Legend?
Oh. I was thinking about that movie the other day. It's a great movie. Oh, actually, dude, I saw a clip on Twitter earlier, and it's like, it was like one of those, or maybe it was Reddit, but it's like a movie details subreddit, and it's a little GIF of when Will Smith looks at the mannequin Manny, I think he calls it, or whatever. But and ever so slightly, and I think it's just like to kind of like play with the audience and show that he's slowly losing his mind. But you actually do see the mannequin turn its head slightly, and I was like, "Fuck, I never noticed that before." Yeah, it's awesome, and it does zooms in on it. Has the dog's name is Sam?
Correct. Correct. You had me in anticipation.
I want to rewatch it.
Yeah, so do I. I reckon we should review it in a couple of weeks. We've got a trilogy that we're doing starting next week. But that's going to be like every 2 weeks we'll do one of them. So it won't be just 3 straight weeks. We could do I Am Legend maybe in between weeks. I don't know. We can talk that later. Dools number 7. In Zombieland, there is a huge rule list shown throughout the entire film. My question to you, Dools, is, quote, avoid strip clubs a rule?
It's so specific. So you've said Zombieland. So this can't include the second one.
This is the first film. In Zombieland.
Avoid strip clubs.
There is a huge rule list shown throughout the film. And my question to you is, quote, avoid strip clubs, end quote, a rule.
I do remember a scene where a stripper's chasing a dude, but I don't think that was the rule. It might have been something else. I'm going to say no, it's not.
Dools, you break your streak. It was.
Fuck you.
Rule number 21.
I should have just said yes. I mean, that was so specific. Anyway.
Yeah, it was. But you got it wrong.
Question has?
Thank you. Question 8, Dools. 2006's sci-fi thriller Children of Men depicts a world where humanity's infidelity have left a society on the verge of extinction.
Oh, I don't remember.
Sorry, not infidelity, infertility. Sorry, I can't read today. But who directed the film?
Oh, I should know this.
You should know this, Dools.
You got Clive Owen.
Clive Owen and Julianne Moore star in it. Epic film.
Oh, it has. It's fucking on the tip of me tongue. Oh, Jesus. It's going to haunt me. Okay. It's...
Do me repeat the question, Dools? I can repeat the question.
No, I'm director of Children of Men. That's okay. Fuck.
No, I get it.
All right. Oh, dude, I'm gonna be so annoyed when you say it as well. Oh Christ. Okay, yeah, I'm not gonna get. I'll just take a stab though. Oh fuck, dude, what is his name?
I'm going to give you a 5 count, Dools.
Oh, shit, what else has he done?
3, 2, 1.
Oliver Stone.
Give me
No.
Alfonso Cuarón, Dools.
Oh, fucking hell, dude. Oh, my God.
Gravity.
Actually, I wouldn't have guessed that.
Roma. Would you have gone Alejandro Iñárritu?
No, I was thinking like a Ridley Scott or a fucking, I don't know. Yeah, I was way off.
Yeah, Alfonso Cuarón. Question number 9, Dools. The Hunger Games, the first film out of the entire series, graced the cinema in what year?
Oh.
So the first film, not any of the other sequels, just the first film.
2009.
2012, Dools. 2012.
The first one?
The first film.
Really?
Yeah. 2012.
I'm way off.
I looked this up, but I'm just double checking on the fly. But I did look this up. Going Games film 2012. Dools. It is also 2 hours and 23 minutes, and it has 84% on Rotten Tomatoes. Dools, last question. What is the name of Wall-E's female friend?
What, Wall-E? Like
what is the name
Pixar
of
movie?
Wall-E's? Yeah.
Okay.
What is the name of his female friend? Have you ever seen Wall-E?
I have. Wasn't too hot about it. It's okay.
It's other than Wall-E, it's the other word that he says in the movie. What is the name of Wall-E's female friend in the movie Wall-E? People will be screaming at the speakers right now.
I bet they are. Well, look, let's be honest. It's one of the more forgettable Pixar movies, hence why I'm forgetting her name. Yuli. I don't know.
Correct. No, it's
Fuck
not right.
off.
No, it is actually Eve or Eva.
Okay, Jesus.
That's the end of it, Dools.
Oh, like
So
Adam and Eve
all up-
has? Genius. Good on you, Pixar.
Could have been. So you got you got Braille, you got Nicholas Hoult, you got Bugs or Insects, you got No, Bird Box is not a good movie. You got Quiet Place is True, and you got Sam, so you got 6 out of 10.
Yeah, so maybe not so easy after all, has.
No, well, they might
Guessing the year Hunger Games came out, I mean, I don't know if you'd have got that up right away.
I would have. I definitely would have. Came out the year that we finished school. That's how I remember it. That's how I remember it, Dools. Got
The first one's good.
Vault up
2
here.
is great. And then,
Yeah.
oh my god, those other 2.
I agree.
Mockingbird's part
First
1 and
one's
2. Yikes.
First one's solid. The second one is awesome. And then, like, the last one that's split into 2 parts is atrocious.
Yeah. No good.
But yeah, Dools. That's the end of Trivia Tuesday show on a Wednesday. But sign us out, Dools. Let's end the show.
This has been More Cops on Duty Prime, your weekly Wednesday dose of film, TV games from yours truly and Hasdog. Join us this Friday for The Last of Us Part 2 spoiler cast. Till then, we're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, everything else. You know where to find us. And we know where to find you. See ya.
Jesus. Until then, I'm Harry Dools' Dools with More Cops on Duty, and we're out.